Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how to build a glass item elevator. Now this thing is specifically designed to work with item hoppers feeding into the dispenser. That's probably how almost all glass item elevators are meant to work. But the reason why I say that is that this thing acts differently when there are items being fed from the dispenser than if there were items put in a dispenser. So you can tell that's quite a bit different. Also worth noting is there's two different possible configurations in the redstone. One of them is the way that's set up here, which dispenses 5 items at a time, and then the signal gets sent for the piston to squish the items up the elevator. The other way is for this thing to dispense all of the items that are in there and then be squished and pushed up. So, and again, this is with the hopper involved. So if there was 64 items in here, it spits out all of the items because there is enough time for all of these items from the item hopper to be put into the dispenser. It's just going to keep spitting them out at a little bit lower rate, and then the signal for the piston is going to be sent once the items are depleted. Now I'll show you both redstones in a little bit. First, we're just going to grab those items there. Let's quickly demonstrate. The reason why I had 2 modes was this one works quite well, however it's quite glitchy in a sense. Occasionally you'll get 2 to 4 slime balls spurting out of this thing, just kind of glitching and falling out of the item elevator, which is not totally awesome. However, this one's a little bit slower, so that's not the best. But also the top part of here, instead of using water to push the items that reach the top down into a hopper and then into a chest, I have just 2 hoppers on the top, which this one acts as a block. The items will go up and above into this block area here and then fall into the item hopper and then into here. Now I want to test the efficiency, so we have 5 full blocks of slime balls, and then we can compare between the 2 modes here which one is more efficient and kind of test how long either one of them goes for. So let's time this here. Alright, so this first configuration is finished, and this round it's 100% efficient. Normally there'll be about 4 slime balls on the bottom here that spit out of this glass part. So it's not 100% efficient, I know for sure. This time it was. Next is this configuration here, which has an added repeater in here and a different timing on this repeater here. So this mode is slower, but it's slower because it's allowing for all of these items that are in the item hopper to fill into the dispenser and be shot into this area here before the piston gets extended and items go through. And you can hear it spitting them out slower. However, it does not take breaks in between 5 items for this to extend. So we're going to time this as well, just to see how long it takes to do 5 full stacks of slime balls. Also, this way is a little bit less glitchy than the other way, because as you can see, the items are able to group together before the piston ever extends, which is better for when it's transporting through the glass. So there'll be less occasion for the items to glitch out of the glass area here before they're going up or as they're going up. So let's time the rest of this here. Alright, so this second mode is done. The downside to this one is that all the items get sent all at once, so it takes a while for this chest to get filled up, for the items to pass through. Alright, so now let's get down to the business here. The basic building blocks here is just glass in a kind of plus configuration, and that's all the way up to as high as you're going to go. You just keep going up and up until you reach the top part where you'll have glass, like this. And there'll be two hoppers, one in here pointing out and another one pointing out. And then the items reach this level here and suck into the hopper right there. So that's the basic glass configuration. I think almost all glass elevators are the same in that regards. This system here, I'm just going to turn the time. For the redstone, for the first configuration, we have it like this. Whenever there's a signal, whenever there's items in the dispenser, it activates this comparator, which sends a signal out. Whenever you have just redstone here, if there's less than 42 items, it sends only one block of redstone signal. When there's over 42, it'll send more, and I think that's in multiples of 42, so the signal gets stronger and stronger. We don't want that. We want just a straight up toggled on and off signal. So we're using a repeater to take the signal from that and just amplify it. We want it on 3 ticks because that's the smoothest for this configuration to run. If it's on any other signal, let's say 2, it'll be really super glitchy. On 1, it'll be a little bit slower and weirder, and it'll send only 3 items at a time. And it'll also be a little bit more glitchy. 4, I'm not sure if that even works properly. The signal gets sent from the repeater to this point, and then into this here, which when it gets power, it creates a pulse signal like this, on and off, on and off. Not exactly sure why that is. And that's when you have it in subtraction mode. So when you place a comparator, it's on normal mode, right click on it, and it's on subtraction mode. So that's the signal that feeds the dispenser, which spits out the items. From this end, you get power from that same signal, which then turns off this redstone torch and turns off this signal, which retracts the piston. So this piston is always in the extended mode here because this redstone torch is constantly powering it, unless there's items in the dispenser, in which case it sends a signal and it flips the signal from the redstone torch here. Because this block here is getting power, and then it cancels out the power from the redstone torch, canceling out the power to the piston, etc., etc. And then when the items either deplete here, or when they deplete out of the dispenser, the signal will get lost, and then this signal will turn back up, or turn back on, which extends the piston. And when the items are in this block and get squished, there's nowhere for them to go except through the glass and up. So that's the basic mechanism for the glass elevator here. Now the second configuration here is I'll just explain it off of this thing here. It'll get the exact same sort of signal, except when it's in this area here, when redstones have added tick marks here, that means there's more delay. So let's just kind of demonstrate. You can hear it's ticking less fast, and that's because there's delay here. The more delay you have on the repeater, the more of these toggle on and on and off switches it'll skip. So it takes about 3 on and offs for 1 tick to be done here on the dispenser. Whereas here it's about 4. Here it's normal. Here it's about 2. So it's kind of like reducing a gear ratio or something of that sort, where for every 2 on signals here, you get 1 on signal here. So it's about half as fast. And that is what we want, because when there's items in this item hopper, it takes quite a bit of time for those items to flow into the dispenser, meaning if it's every 2 ons that items get dispensed, the items in the dispenser will not get depleted until all the items in the hopper are depleted. I'll just quickly demonstrate. So here they get depleted, and that's what's sending the signal for this thing to get extended. Depleted, depleted, it shuts it off. Now in the other configuration, we'll do the exact same thing. And they get spit out in such a short or extended period of time between ticks or whatever. These can flow all the way through, thus depleting in the hopper, and it won't extend until all of the items are depleted in the dispenser here. Just like that. Alright, so hopefully you guys understand that, and I'm sure you can take screenshots and whatnot of this configuration. I don't really have to rebuild all of this for you. One thing to keep in mind here is that basically anything here can be extended, so all of these redstone signals can be extended, except that the minute that you're putting delay in this area, so if you have, let's say I put 3 repeaters in here. Let's just get rid of that for now. Let's say I had 3 repeaters on 1 tick. That's going to change because for each repeater there is delay. That means this is now on 3 ticks. So it quite drastically changes the way this thing behaves. If you have too many ticks in this area, it only is going to dispense 1 item at a time, and then it kind of just breaks the redstone in this. It's not going to work anymore. Same thing goes with 2 ticks. It really has to be a specific amount of ticks on this end. And on this end, it kind of just matters how many ticks, meaning how much delay there is in the signal. So yeah, just keep that in mind. But you can extend this redstone signal here, and you can extend this redstone signal as long as you keep this delay stuff in mind. So hopefully you guys like that. I'm going to be using this thing to transport a bunch of slime balls in a slime farm that I'm going to be making in my Let's Play world. And like I said, this thing is designed for hopper feeding into the dispenser. And if you have tons of items where the dispenser and item hoppers are going to be full constantly, this would be the better configuration to go with. Even though it's glitchy, it's going to actually transport items rather than, never transport them because there's too many items in this thing here. So anyways, hopefully you guys like that. And as you can see, we had 2 slime balls there, and I think 4 on the top. So this thing is not 100% efficient, but it works. And if you're transporting silly little things like slime balls, I'm sure you don't need 100% efficiency. So anyways, hopefully you guys like that. Leave a like if you did. It'll really help out my channel here. And if you look, if you like these kinds of tutorials, I can do more of them, just let me know in the comments and whatnot. And sounds good. See you in the next one. Bye bye.